Hello everyone, I'm Żenia and this is the last part of my video tutorial. In the first two parts you've learned how to needle felt an egg shape and apply gradient background, and today I will show you how to add this tiny pretty blossom to your egg, how to decorate it. And I will show you how to create larger and smaller blossom, because I believe people who are just starting might find small flowers quite difficult, so I do recommend starting and practicing with larger ones. Today I will be working with 40 gauge star needle. I will be using white merino, fine merino for the blossom, as well as some Corriedale wool for the leaves and branches and the yellow in the middle of the flower. So I'll show you what to do first. The first step will be selecting a little bit of gray. You could also use brown or green, is really up to you. So I'm selecting a tiny amount here and just trying to make it as thin as possible. And before you start applying it, it's quite important to make sure that your background is quite nice and smooth. You don't want too many loose fibers there, so it's good to have firm surface as a background. So to create a branch, I'm just stabbing over that gray piece, long piece of wool. And I make sure that the shape looks quite natural. I'm stabbing gently, but I make sure all the fibers connect to the background. And you can make a couple of branches, so another tiny amount. This one will be shorter. Okay, I'm quite happy with that. So the next step will be applying the blossom. I'm just taking a little bit of my white merino, and first I will show you how to create a bigger flower. So I'm just snapping small amounts and rolling them so they create little loose balls. They don't have to be all exactly the same, just similar. I'll make 5. And I will just stab them very loosely, and so they create a shape of a flower. And then I'm going to stab the edges of each petal, and you can see how quickly it shrinks. So working on the edges first. So you can see it is 3-dimensional. I haven't finished the background yet. I hope you did. But this side looks okay. So I will work a little bit more on the edges just to make sure it's attached properly. And I will just stab over the area as well, but quite gently. I don't want to flatten it too much. And over the edges again. Now I will select tiny amount of yellow corridale, and just stab over the area so it sinks in a bit deeper than the petals. So that's the larger flower, and I'll show you how I create the smaller ones. And as I said, I think most people will find the larger flower easier, but I might be wrong, so try both and see how it works for you. So you can see these are much smaller. And again, stabbing over the edges of each petal, and the size is shrinking with every stab. And because this is such a small amount of wool, you might not need to stab over the white area, just the edges. And again, a little bit of yellow in the middle, tiny amount of corridale. You can add as many flowers and as you like. I usually decorate just one side and I leave the other side plain. It's really up to you. So at this stage I'm going to add a little leaves, green leaves, and we did blend this green during the last part, and that's a nice color. So again, snapping tiny amounts, and I will be applying them on the background. And with this detail I'm just stabbing over the whole area, so these are flat, the same level as the background. So that's the technique, and you can add many more little leaves and more branches if you like. Just create your own style, and you can go over the whole area with your finer needle, 40 gauge needle, just to make it smoother. I'll show you the way it looks from the side. So it is three-dimensional, the flowers are. So please do experiment with the colors, with sizes of the flowers. Just enjoy working with wool. You've got loads of possibilities, and I hope you've enjoyed my first video tutorial. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.